Thank you. Reimagine. I love that. Reimagine. I love that. That's what it takes for us to do, to reimagine every day, every moment, so that we can live according to an idea that is authentic to who we are at every moment. You know, there's this idea is not bound by precedent, is not bound by precedent. And what that means, of course, is that whatever it is, that power, spiritual presence, God is not back or an for you. Or so in other words, if freedom didn't exist before, it's okay. It will exist now because principle is not bound by that history. So we don't have to be trapped or bound by our histories. We don't have to live in a container that is tight, that is small, that says, I am stuck. I am in pain. I'm lost, right? We don't have to live in that. In other words, we can every day reimagine, and maybe this is the first time where you've heard that, or it might have finally landed and resonated. We can reimagine who we are, who we want to be, or perhaps what it is that we've been sent here to do. So before we begin, I have a question I want to ask you. Is it hot in here or is it just me? All right. We are doing what we call a blues service tonight. And it has its roots in a lot of different traditions. But the basic idea is that when we give ourselves permission to feel what perhaps we have not felt, to grieve what we still need to grieve, to mourn that which we have lost, when we give ourselves space to do that, then it no longer has to be the filter through which we experience the world. It no longer has to be the way that we walk through anything. You know, when we have an expectation that somebody new in our life is going to perform according to the way somebody old in our life performed, we don't allow that person the spontaneity, the freedom, the creativity, or just the authenticity, because we are seen through this bias of a lens of our old history. And it's sort of that same idea where we allow ourselves to be liberated in the midst of. When we go through the holiday seasons, or the holiday season, you know, it's an interesting thing. And I know that for years, I had a sense of sadness as Christmas would approach, and I didn't really know why. And I know that my mom had a deep sense of sadness, and it took years, and she and I would talk about this a lot. It turned out that she lost a baby right around Christmas, about 3 days after this little girl had been born. My brother was born, then this little child, and then I came after that. And it was right around the holidays. And when she came home from the hospital, her well-meaning friends took everything out of the house that would have been for the baby, as if it had never occurred, as if this was not a plan, as if nobody had ever talked, and they didn't talk about it. The crib was gone, the clothes, they thought they were doing her a favor, to not have to see this stuff, to remind her of her grief. And what we know is that until we speak something into the room, until we speak something into our own experience, the grief is still there. And I think it even kind of hardens in a way. You know, recently I did a memorial service, and typically, when I get to the end of a celebration of life or a memorial service, I remind everybody who's in attendance to reach out to the person, to the spouse, to the family members who are still here, and let them know that you care, that you're here. And and bring up that person's name, bring up the departed's name and talk about them, because those memories are what keep love alive. It's not that it keeps the grief alive, it keeps the love alive. And people are often afraid of doing that. Well, I don't want to make her cry. No, the crying is really, really essential. It's really important. And this one I did recently, I said, you got to remember to say Bruce's name. Say his name, say his name. Just remember, it's not Beetlejuice. You can say it. And they laughed as you did, because we have to remember that we're not doing anything superstitious. So we are in what we call a season of light. And so we want to know that the light within us is still present and active, despite the darkness that we might feel around this season. And it can be really hard for many people to go into the holiday season. And yet, you know, the light is still going to be celebrated. Next Monday starts Hanukkah. In a few weeks, the winter solstice will be celebrated. After that, Kwanzaa begins December 26th. This is all about light. All of these celebrations involve lighting a candle, bringing light in. And Emerson has this wonderful quote. I was thinking about it today. When it's dark enough, you can see the stars. When it's dark enough, you can see the stars. And there's this other idea that I remember years ago reading about. It's a Hopi tradition, indigenous culture, that our loved one is not gone. But if you look up in the sky, those stars that you see are just their eyes looking back at us, upon us, seeing us through that light. And so we can bring about this tenderness that we often are afraid of feeling. Ernest Holmes wrote that light has the power to overcome darkness, not by combating darkness, but being exactly what it is, light. And he also wrote, there's something divine about us which we have overlooked. There is more to us than we realize. Man is an eternal destiny, a forever expanding principle of conscious intelligence. The ocean in the drop of water, the sun in its rays. Man, the real man, human, the real human, is birthless, deathless, changeless. And God, as man, in man, is man. The highest God and the innermost God is one and the same God. And so we prepare not to die, but to live. Except when we have lost someone or something that has been profound to us or has meaning. It is very challenging to bring ourselves to a point of saying, well, I'm preparing to live. Because we are still defined and woven by that person, that loss. And it might be a pet. It might be a beloved pet. When I was living in Oregon, I frequently was the one that got called to sit with horses as we put them down. I was an equine masseuse in another life. And so several times I was called to come sit, especially if the people could not be there. At one point, it was a beautiful big draft horse who suddenly foundered. And I won't go into what that means. And they were stuck in snow in Chicago. And here we were in Newburgh. And so I hiked up the hill through the snow. There was no electricity right at that point because the snow and the frost had come. And so we were in this freezing weather. And I sat with that beautiful horse's head in my lap, in the mud, in the snow, and just stroked and loved this animal so that he would not depart the world unloved and alone. And it's such a sacred right, and I feel so privileged. And I've done it several times for people. And my husband has done it for me when I couldn't be there when we had to release one of our dogs. It is such a sacred thing. And if you've ever sat with someone as they move from their body, as painful as it is to be in that space, it's also the most sacred experience that you can have to see the shift that happens. I remember when I sat with my mom as she was making her transition. And she was very afraid of dying. And I sat with her and I said, Mom, I'm going to hold your hand on this side until Andy, that was my brother who had died a few years before, takes it on the other side. And she got this look of peace on her face. And so what we are here to do tonight is to hold the hands of the people around us, to hold our own hand on this side as we allow for the grief of someone that we may have lost or said goodbye to this year. And perhaps we didn't get to sit with them and hold their hand on this side until someone on the other side, on that veil, the other side of that veil, was able to take their hand and be with them. But we get to do that. You know, if we take this idea that there's no time or space in God, then we actually are doing that here and now for anyone that we have released, said goodbye to, or even an idea or a lifestyle. You know, this year I think has been such our nation has had to re-identify itself. We are going through so many challenges, and it is that idea of a lizard shedding its skin over and over and over until you finally think, is there any more skin to shed? Because we have to stand now in this place of defending democracy and declaring what it is that we stand for. And yet we are redefining so much of it. So much of what we thought was carved in stone turns out has been smashed to pieces, right? And this is not a political statement, but it is one of humanity, basic humanity, that we still need to remember who we are and the preciousness of the people that we love and the lives that we value in the people that we don't even know, so that we can continue to stand and hold that light of humanity and to be strong and clear. And the way we do that is not by holding on to old grief and old pain and old bitterness and resentment. We cannot move forward if we are still doing that. So again, it's about unpacking some of it. Now, the beauty of a service like this is that you don't have to let it go if you don't want to. There's no one twisting an arm saying, you better release this. You've been sad for too long. Well, no, you get to be sad as long as you want. You get to grieve as long as you want. And nobody's path to grief looks like anybody else's. Grief goes sideways. Have you ever heard that expression? When you are in grief, it goes sideways, meaning it will come out as sadness, regret, anger, fear, distrust, some joy, not some joy. Any emotion you can think of, any feeling is that you can imagine will come out because your protections are compromised when you're in grief, right? So grief will go sideways. So if you find yourself suddenly getting really angry, consider that it might be grief. I think we are a nation now in mourning. And we are having to release what we thought was there in order, and this is the good news, in order to reveal the idea that is the truth about us, in order to reveal real democracy, real liberty, real caring, real humanity. That which we thought was there, we're shedding so that we can come into a greater sense of authenticity and caring about each other. Does that make sense? Okay. I have no idea where I am because I didn't know I was going to say any of that. I know that when I honor a loss, I am more free to live. The paradox is that in celebrating what has changed form, then step by step, inch by inch, I do prepare to live. And I live more fully with a greater willingness to let my own light shine again and to do it without guilt. Well, they're gone. How can I possibly think of living? They didn't get to live their dream all the way through. How can I possibly think of doing my dream? Well, they're gone. Why would I even want to do this? You know, we hold it up as something over here, thinking that it affects this over here. That's the paradox. There's a poem that I read sometimes when I am doing celebrations of life. And I like it because it allows us, I like it for this because it'll allow us to have less residual pain as we move into the holidays. And it's called Epitaph by Merritt Malloy. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want you to leave you something better, better than words, better than sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live on in your eyes and not your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Is it okay to be sad? Is it okay to be sad longer than other people think you should be sad? I really hate it when I hear someone say, well, you know, they keep telling me I should be over this by now. Oh, doesn't that just piss you off? It does me, because it takes us what it takes us. It takes what it takes. Is it okay to mourn a loss that isn't what society thinks is normal or okay? What about the loss of a pet? Some people don't understand that. No, not everyone understands the feeling of family that surrounds a beloved dog, cat, bird, tortoise, horse. Even chickens have personalities and respond to love and companionship. They really, truly do. What about the loss of a job? For many of us, our identity is in our job. A cherished friendship that maybe isn't romantic, but has helped midwife the you whom you are today. Is it okay to mourn the loss of things? Oh, you bet. So many people lost the lives that they thought they had, the homes that they thought they'd be in forever last January with the fires. If you went through that and you think you should be over it, oh my gosh, I give you permission to go back and to really look deeply at whether or not you're ready to stop crying. Because I'm still crying for you. I was nowhere near the fires, and my heart is so touched by everything that people had to go through. I'm still crying for you. Any loss that upsets or shifts the context of your life shapes who you are. Anybody that you've been around shapes who you are and is worthy of both the grief and the honor. This year, as I said, has been challenging and scary, and we are mourning the loss of a collective identity we thought would last forever. We've been shaken, but we keep going. And I think that the way that we do that is to acknowledge it and to say, okay, what's next? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? You might feel as if you're being invited or forced even to give up the life you have known, the identity you have claimed, or even the values you have held. And perhaps tonight might be a chance for you to create some meaning and some peace around losses, around any of your losses. Consider that the light is still there, just waiting for a chance to shine again. I'm a big believer in speaking something into the room when you are going through it. When I work with people as they are getting ready to speak or be ministers and they're nervous about those first times that they're going to be speaking in public, I encourage them to stand in front of the congregation or the group that they're going to be with and say, you know, I'm really nervous as I stand here tonight. Because there's something about that honesty that allows everyone to just connect at the heart level. And it also allows you to go, okay, it's not going to sneak up from behind and bite me in my assets. So you don't have to be willing to release and let go. All we're doing tonight is offering context. So what we're going to do, and I'll guide you through a process, I have gold stars up here that I sat this afternoon and I poked a hole in each one and I put an ornament hook on them. And there are Sharpies, and I will guide you through a process where you can choose to think about that thing or that person or persons that might still be on your heart, or you just want to honor. You just want to honor and speak their name or have their name in the room. And then you'll have the opportunity to come up here to write that name and to hang that star on one of our trees. I did it several times today. As I came in here tonight, I thought, well, one of the members of our church transitioned this last year quite suddenly, and I miss her a lot. Some of you knew Maxine Schumack, and I adored her. She was crunchy and stubborn, and I adored her. So here's a star for Maxine. And every time I look at this star throughout the next several weeks, and the ones that I've hung over there, I know that my love is still alive, that she's still alive, the love that I had for her and the fun that I had with her. So I'm going to invite you now to just take a moment, perhaps close your eyes if you like. Take a deep breath, relax your body, let your breath out, and take a minute or two to just consider that person, those persons or things, experiences that register as losses for you. Just think about that. We're going to take this time in silence to do that. You're in a safe place. We have practitioners here to pray with you, to witness your tears, to witness your laughter, to witness your anger. I have people in my life, I'm still kind of bugged that they left. How could you die? It's still not okay with me. Years and years later, it's still not okay that I lost my brother. It's still not okay. So I still have love there, and I still honor that grief. So consider the losses, consider the names. And I'm going to suggest too, you can open your eyes, that tonight when you get home, give yourself the gift of lighting a candle in their name or in honor of that loss. That way it's something that you can look at throughout the holidays. And it'll give you permission to feel what you need to feel. And if you're streaming this service, if you're at home, you can create the same sort of memorial ritual. Pick an ornament, a decoration, a candle, or an area, maybe even create an altar. Designate that as a loving symbol of what your heart is calling. It's calling for you to mourn, to grieve, to honor and love, and to just allow. So these stars are going to remain on these trees throughout our holiday season. So whenever you see a star hanging on these trees, you're going to know, oh, that's right. I hung it there, so I don't have to carry it like this. I can just let it dangle loosely and lovingly. So when you're ready, I invite you to simply come up here. Let's turn up the lights so people can see. We have 5 Sharpies. I got the last 5 Sharpies in Santa Clarita. Come on up and take turns. The stars all have hooks on them. Some of them might fall off, so you probably don't need to put hooks on. Just take your time. We hired Tony for the rest of the night, so he doesn't have any place to go. He's gonna keep playing. And if you're uncomfortable doing it now, do it after the service. Certainly do it. Give yourself the opportunity to do that. If you need more than 1 star, there are a bunch of them over here. It occurs to me a few years ago, I had a total hip replacement. And you know what? I never grieved giving up that original issue hip. I have my aftermarket hip, and I'm thinking I should probably grieve that, because my body is different now. And I'm not entirely on board with how it is. And if there are tears, let the tears fall. Sometimes we like to keep things secret within ourselves. So if you want to put a nickname or a code name or something else that stands for that person that only you know, this is for you. This is between you and that person or that thing that you love. That's it. Nobody else's business, just your own. It occurs to me I'm going to have to come back later. I've got a couple of animals I need to say goodbye to that I haven't yet. We didn't do this service last year, so I gotta play catch up. I lost my sister-in-law earlier this year, so I'll be feeling out a star for her too, so that I know that every time I look at that tree, I'm thinking of Jennifer. So know that that sense of tears, that's really, really good. That is that beloved speaking to you and saying, "Oh, my darling, I know you suffer. I love you. Oh, my darling, I am here. The love is not gone." And this is how we remember that the love is here. So as we finish up, I'm going to take us into prayer, and we will move on with, I believe we have an ask after this. All right, so I'm just going to invite you to take all of it in, all of the emotion, all of the feeling, embracing all of it. And it might be a mass of confused feelings, and they are all yours. They're all the tapestry of who and what your heart wants you to know is good and very good. This is what life feels like. This is what love feels like. This is what God feels like. and how blessed we are to have known these people, to have had these experiences, to have held these beautiful furry four-legged creatures, whatever it is or whomever it is, that we are honoring their presence, whoever and whatever, knowing that we have loved is what matters most. There's a song, what matters most is that we've loved at all. How wonderful to acknowledge we have loved. So I bless all of this and know that these emotions, these feelings continue to create in wholeness, in joy, and in creating the ability to move into this season not weighed down, but instead lifted up, that the weight doesn't pull us down. The weight is beneath our arms. It is that wind beneath our wings, and it lifts us. It pulls us up so that we are able to have the sight of the divine in all that we do, all that we are, all whom we love. So I know that this season which lies ahead is indeed filled with light. And we honor the light, we honor the dark, and we know that all of it is God. And so it is. Amen.
Tony, please keep playing what you're playing. I just want to share this, and thank you, Dr. Sidney. And I don't know why, but I'm listening to Spirit speak through me, so I want you just to listen to this. Let's move Michelle Obama. Joining forces, Jill Biden. Just say no, Nancy Reagan. Be your best, Melania Trump. Reach out and read Laura and Barbara Bush. Rosalind Carter's Health Initiative. Lady Bird Johnson's Beautification Program of America. Hillary Clinton, Health Care Reform Effects. Jacqueline Kennedy, the White House Restoration. And I want you to know that everything I've read here has changed this planet for the good. And it came out of the East Wing, which is now completely gone. And I did not know why this was bugging me so much. And it's something that I have to release so I can continue to do the work. And I put it up there, the East Wing.
Yeah.
Because that was a huge one. And I understand now why this meant so much, because these incredible initiatives for every child to be fed, for kids to learn to read, for beautification, for helping the planet to be a better planet, a world that works for everyone, came out of the East Wing. So I honor that initiative. I honor those programs. I honor that movement because it meant a lot and it still means a lot. And guess what? The building might be gone, but the vision still lives on. Yes?
Yes, yes, yes.
So thank you, Dr. Sidney, for taking us through that. This is our time that we get to participate in the law of giving. And right now we're at the end of the year, and I want you to think about something. Has this community made a difference in your life this year? Yes? Do you want to see this community continue on for those who need it in the near future?
Yes.
It requires for all of us to simply say yes. To say yes in our giving, in the way we be of service, the way that we participate here in your time, and also how you give. This is the law of circulation, and it's the law of giving. And right now, as we're meeting our years in, we need you to step up to the plate and to help us to continue on to make sure next year we are absolutely anchored in and we are fully supplied. We know that already from consciousness. So this is the time that I want you to really think about this. And your end of the year giving, man, that's a great tax write-off, y'all. So don't miss your blessing. And if you want to give right now, and I hope you do, you can go to the QR code right here. That'll lead you right to our website, nhcrs.org/give. Or you can text to give 818-457-3419. And right now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your gift into your consciousness, into your heart. Close your eyes just for a moment. And I just want to give thanks for all the monies that are coming through the door. Giving thanks for how these incredible exchange of energy, also known as the bills, are being paid. The lights are on, the seats are here, and we are warm. So we get to celebrate, and we get to continue to make sure these doors will stay open for the next generation. And what we do here affects a generation, 7 generations down the road. So we say yes to the sustainability of our beloved community. So I give thanks, and I simply allow it to be. And so it is. And ushers, come on up. This is time that we're going to sing, and we're going to spread the basket. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Bob. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And once again, my brother, Jason Luckett.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so nice to be here with you all. Carry me up to be received. We're drinking coffee at 10 a.m. Newspaper deaths 30 years one day. A folk singer sings, I ain't scared. And tears rise as I daydream of Martin Luther King fulfilled. Can you feel? Carry me up to receive, 'cause despair is fate is nonsense to me. Sun warms us through our windows, but my girl and I must go outside. With knowledge from these conversations, we must act, at least in song. Can you feel? You're not alone. Can you carry me up to believe that words of peace stir collective souls, that we will be moved by non-violent hands, that my passion's not nostalgic. Tears rise as I daydream, and I begin to smile. Can you feel? You're not alone.
Announcements. Wednesday, December 3rd, you can easily make a one-time or recurring donations to our church through our text to give number, QR code, or through our website, nhcrs.org/give. Thank you. Prayer with a practitioner is available after service in the sanctuary and on Zoom. Please leave the sanctuary quietly after service to allow for sacred prayer. Zoom attendees join our virtual patio after service for spiritual and social connection. Every Sunday at 10:30 a.m., our junior church is open. Babies, kids, and teens are welcome. Sign in for children starts at 10 a.m. The Wednesday Wake Up with Reverend Skip Jennings next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Join Reverend Skip for Radiance Rising. Welcome to the Season of Lights. The women's group Holiday Potluck is Sunday at 12:15 in the junior church. Join us for food, fellowship, and joyous holiday songs led by Mary Highland and Gilbert Acuna. All are welcome. Our men's group will meet briefly at 12:15 in the Ernest Holmes room this Sunday, and then join the women's group for the holiday potluck.
Excellent.
What? December dates to remember. Tuesday, December 9th, Christmas gift giving event at North Valley Caring Services at 3 p.m. Sunday, December 21st, visit from Santa and wear your favorite holiday sweater day. Wednesday, December 24th, Christmas Eve candle lighting service at 7 p.m. Sunday, December 28th, regular Sunday service with Reverend Skip Jennings. Wednesday, December 31st, there will be no service. Our newly remodeled bookstore will be open this Sunday. Be sure to check it out. It is beautiful. Zoom meditation meets Monday through Saturday from 7:55 to 8:15 a.m. We will meet on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Please join us. Please visit our website, nhcrs.org, for Zoom links, info, and to sign up for weekly e-blast and monthly newsletters. Please follow us on social media and post what you love about our services. Thank you.
Much.
Yeah, nice.
Something really amazing is happening this Sunday. I want everyone to be here at home. You got to be in the building. This Sunday, we're relaunching our bookstore. Got to tell you, it is absolutely phenomenal. There's some new things that are going to be in the bookstore. You can get Reverend Nadine's book there. Please come out, and we're going to be selling something very special, but you're only going to have to you have to come in to see what we're selling. And once you see it, you're going to have it. So this Sunday, everyone's in this building for the launch of our new bookstore, yes?
Yay.
All right, let's stand up and let's sing out, Blessed Always. Grab someone's hand. Let somebody know that you love them.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. That we rest in God and say amen. That we rest in God and say amen.
That's how good it is to rest in God and say amen. How good it is to know that we are blessed and we are a blessing. And as we leave from this space, we know we carry the light within us, that we know we freed ourselves up so that we may be the light and we may be the compassion and love that our world is calling forth in this moment. So I give thanks, blessing each and every one of us, knowing that in this time we have made a difference because we showed up, we woke up, and we're waking up the world. This is what I'm grateful for, and I simply allowed to be. And if you're in alignment, I invite you to say, and so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. We'll see you next week. Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you for being
Have a great
here.
week. Thank you.
Thank you.